Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Wednesday. I hope everybody's doing fantastic. Apologize I wasn't here Monday, Tuesday, but Monday went over to my sister's house and we processed. Yes, and I'm not late. As soon as my clock clicked over to 1:15, I hit the button. But yeah, I saw you delete that. Haha. How you doing, Jack? How you doing, Jeremy? Yeah, I think we processed, like, I'm going to take a wild guess. It might not be as much, but pretty close to like 500 pounds of tomatoes on Monday. That was a lot of work, and I think I kind of overdid it. And I knew I had gotten an adrenaline rush real bad by Monday evening there. Then yesterday, I was just so ill feeling in that too. So I don't know if it was a combination of that or the new heart medication that the docs have put me onto. But still not feeling 100%, but I'm here. I gotta be here. And then my dad called me this morning. He says he's going to swing by tomorrow. Apparently his dental plate isn't fitting quite right, so he was able to squeeze in instead of Friday morning when he was going to come pick me up. Instead, he's going to come tomorrow, and he's got an appointment at 1:30. So I don't know what's going to go on with stream tomorrow, folks. I do apologize. I was hoping to do more than one stream this week. I mean, we do have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday is our Thanksgiving here, so I won't be here as well. So if I'm not here tomorrow, I do apologize, but I will be back on Tuesday. Hope everyone's doing fantastic this morning. I guess it's this afternoon in my part of the world. So no matter where we are today, you got about a minute left to get your drinks, get your snacks, get your butts in the comfiest position so we can kick back, relax, unwind, and enjoy some more of the Ship's Graveyard. I have been enjoying this game so much. It has definitely been a step up from the first Ship's Graveyard. So number 2 here, good on you there, devs. Good on you. I've been really enjoying this hanging out, playing with everybody. Might not be doing so good on the channel. Don't give a crap. I don't. I really don't. It's just been way too much fun hanging out with everybody on it. So, excuse me. But yeah, I hope everybody today has got their weekend plans ahead of you for us Canadians. But for those non-Canadians, I do hope that you're not too jealous that we get our Turkey Day early. But at least you guys get to have some good football during your Thanksgiving. We don't get that. We don't have really good football here, period. No. Stampeders haven't done so good in many years, so meh, what can you do, right? But I've been looking forward to hanging out with you guys and playing some games. I was feeling absolutely awful yesterday. I was like, oh, maybe I should stream. And I was like, no, I'm running off to the bathroom like every half hour. It wouldn't have been cool. But all right, let's do it. Let's jump into the game. Okay, here we are. Back in the office, and we are ready to purchase the Mariner. All right, so we haven't stepped up yet. We're still on level difficulty 2, and I'm looking forward to it. So what did everybody do Monday and Tuesday? I can tell you, my right arm is just killing me trying to pick up. My sister has I think she said it was an 82 quart pot that we put onto like a single propane burner that we have just outside and underneath her porch. And so yeah, I was doing a whole lot of coring and I was doing a whole lot of moving, and she was using the what the heck is her machine called again? I think it's called the Fabio, something like that. But she's got a really good tomato mill. Gets rid of all the seeds, gets rid of all the skins and everything. So all we do is we just core and quarter the tomatoes, throw them into that giant 82 quart pot, let them cook up for a few minutes until they start getting really soft and most of the juice, the water starts running out. And you just transfer that over to the Fabio. Cloud, how you doing, man? I know it's Cloyd. But how you doing, man? Been a while, dude. I hope you've been doing fantastic. But, yeah, it's good to see you. Good to see you coming in. Hope everything's been going really well in your world. I hope you haven't been away due to sickness. Remember, in sickness and in health, man, we're here for you. We're more dedicated than a marriage. At least we try to be, anyway. Not too well. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, my man. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that whatever's going on in life, you've got yourself a good handle on it. I know the world of not feeling very well, man. Oh, like I said, I don't know whether it's the heart meds or if it was the massive adrenal rush that I had on Monday that just had me just feeling absolutely horrific yesterday. It was bad. Put it this way, I was in bed for 95% of the day. Easy 95% of the day. Okay, so it looks like we're locked into here. Let's do this. Let's go old school instead of blowing things up. Yeah, I know what it's like not to be feeling so good. Yeah, the doctor gave me some new medications there last week, and it's just... I don't know if it's the meds that got me feeling kind of queasy, or if it's the, if it was the adrenal surge. But yeah, no, I'm still not 100%. But I'm glad to see you, my man. Good to see you. Being down 90% of the time? Oh, absolutely, man. Oops. Well, I don't know. Oh, okay. It flew in here. That's where it went. I'm like, where did that go? It went through the wall. It ghosted through. But it was you that just purchased a house not that long ago, wasn't it? Like within the last year, I think it was. So, I mean, come on. That's a whole bunch of stress right there on its own. Buying a house in these markets these days is just crazy. But I am happy to say that the market is starting to drop a little bit here. We've been able to basically start going up against all the foreign investments that we've had here. And, I mean... we were getting to the point where it was like 20% of the homes are empty because they were purchased by foreign investors. Nothing against the... Oh, come on, what is going on with me throwing this around? But yeah, most of the Asian market, like Chinese and stuff, have been purchasing our houses, but not living in them. They're using them as complete investments because they know that their dollar value, the yen or won or whatever the heck they call it over there, has been just dropping due to their economic collapse. So instead of investing in their country, they've been investing in ours, and it's been artificially increasing house costs by over 62%. So if you were trying to buy a house, it's been well over 50% higher value than what it's totally worth due to all those foreign investments. So Canada's been doing a very good job on weeding out which ones are, and basically forcing them to sell at less than what was purchased. And I think that's a fantastic thing. We do all right, with our own. We don't really need, through business, we don't really need the public sector being invaded by all these empty houses, which, Canada's just natural growth is larger than what we have for housing to begin with, not to mention losing 20% due to, all these foreign investments. Oh my God, 215 miles each way. Ooh, jeez. We have a thing here in Canada. I don't know if you guys have that over there, but basically if a business makes you move because your job position has changed or anything along those types of lines, they have to give you a living allowance, basically, in order to get you up and on your feet. I think they have to do it for like 60 days or something like that. So that way you can, either A, purchase another home, or B, get yourself in some sort of housing situation, and that without losing your shirt on selling your house, having to basically force sell it right away at a low price instead of getting the price that it deserves. I do hope that you have something like that over in your country, so that way it hasn't been too stressful on you. But man, getting forced to move 250, and if they turn around and then have you brought back, but within 6 months after you move, then they have to pay a major penalty here. Like basically, I think it's like they have to pay you like 15% of whatever the value of your house was when you sold it. Like they got you taken care of here. They've had way too many improper business practices, they call it. And they only have a relocation allowance. See, yeah, we had something like that up until about the mid-70s, but the companies were just really taking advantage of it. Like, they were just hooping people over. They tell you, like, oh yeah, you know, you're going to become the new director of such and such over, you know, in, like, say Toronto, and you're living in British Columbia. You know, move halfway across the country, and then when you get there, it turns out that the position they put you in is nowhere near what you were doing previously. They were basically lying to you, right? And so yeah, the business community and that really, or the public really stood up against the business communities, and basically, you know, any of the political parties and everything else that were supporting the businesses previously got their knuckles wrapped hardcore over it. And so yeah, Canadians took a stand, kind of like that truckers strike thing that was going on there. Yeah, but mind you, that's got a lot to do with that snowflake Justin Trudeau, who's in office right now. I cannot wait. He's got to go. He's got to go. If he doesn't step down on his own. But he's too much of a snowflake to do that. He's just too self-important. He won't step down until, you know, somebody drags his ass out of that, out of the government. Kicking and screaming and, yeah, cross-dressing his entire way through. Yeah, no, I just not a fan of that guy. That guy is just, he's a nutter. Never voted for him once, and yet he got in twice. You know, I was like, But I have to admit, every single person I've ever voted for, and I do vote, so that way, you know, I have the right to complain. If you don't vote, you don't have the right to complain about it. You know what I mean? But I vote. I want to have my opinion count. And but it never has, apparently. Everybody who gets put into office is not who I voted for in any, you know, whether it be local elections, you know, federal elections, all that type of stuff. I've never had the candidate I've chosen ever win. It's like, oh man, you know, these guys ever hear that, they're going to be like, don't vote for me, don't vote for me. It'd be nice to get rid of them all. Right now, this woke political company or federal government that we have right now, gotta go. You gotta go. You're hearing a lot of lip service from this Pierre from the Conservative Party, but the Conservatives are horrible here. They say one thing and then they do absolutely nothing when they get into power, which is the reason why they never get any votes here. You know, they did it to themselves. You know, it's, you know, what's the old saying? Proof is always in the pudding, something like that. And yeah, they just. It's awful, you know, lip service up until election, or all the way through election, and once they're into office, they do absolutely nothing for you. It's just like, well, why did you guys even say that you're going to do this, and this, and yet you never did a dang thing for it? Oh, it gets pretty disgusting around here when it comes to politics, but from my understanding, it's pretty much the norm all across the world. You know, everybody's getting really sick of their political parties that they're being forced to they have to contend with all the time. Oh, they don't have to listen. Heck, they just don't. Period. They don't make any qualms about it. You know, it's like, oh yeah. No, this is what we're gonna do. Yeah, but that's completely against what you stood for when you're on your political platforms. Yeah. Drives you nuts, man. Drives you nuts. You know, the little guy that's, you know, having all his paydays and everything else, you know, just absolutely raped and pillaged by, you know, so they can have the privilege to be into office. And that's one of the biggest things right now that we're having here is, you know, those who are in the political office just, you know, it's like they're trying to be a class above everybody else. And it's like, you're not kings, you're acting like queens, knock it off. But that was my politics for the day. Oh man. So yeah, sister's doing really, really good. She ended up picking up another two animals since I last saw her. So she now has like 6 dogs. But she got this little mini dachshund type of thing. He's just so tiny. He's just a little itty bitty guy, but he's got so much personality. Oh, he's just fantastic. Sitting there as I'm stirring the big pot away out in the porch. He's coming up and poke, you know, using his nose, poking me in the ankles the whole time. Like, come on, give me some pets, dude. Give me some love. It's like, all right, like, hold on, I'm dealing with food here, doggo. As much as I love doggos, I love to pet you, pal, but I'm dealing with food. Gotta wait. So then after I pet the dog, then I gotta go wash my hands, and, food sanitary. I worked in that industry for far too long to see what happens when food and germs meet, so. That, and we'd be doing a bunch of canning, and you just don't want any of that in there, right? So. But he was so short and everything else, we didn't have to worry about it. All the big dogs, like the husky and the Burmese and all that, those guys, they always stayed in the backyard. They're outside dogs. They stay out there permanently. Just got 3 outdoors and 3 indoor now. You tend to tick everybody off. Well, that's the way it is. I mean, the way I look at it is if you can't talk politics with somebody, it's because they're unwilling to change or listen to somebody else's view. And to me, I am always willing to change my view if, somebody comes up with a point that makes absolute logical sense, Like, it's like if I was thinking about something incorrectly and somebody, brings up a good point about it, and it's like, you know what? I am willing to change my thought on that. But there's very little people who will do that. They're all, like, my opinion is only the opinion. And it's like, well, you got to be able to move a little bit. Otherwise, nothing's ever going to get accomplished. All right, do it. Oh, man. Still getting used to this new keyboard. There's a new keyboard, I tell you. Just where the buttons are compared to where my old touch type keyboard was, it's going to take me a little bit longer in order to get used to it. So far, I haven't seen any additional, what's the word I'm looking for? Like heavy elements that we need to pick up before we drop the whole upper floors. Yeah, there you go. Pretty much. Exactly. Like, no, that's not anarchy. Anarchy means, the people govern themselves 100%, and that's not quite right. You know what I mean? Just that it just basically, like, as you say, it just means that, you have to justify whatever actions that you're making, and the repercussions are that, you're not allowed to be into that position ever again. Like, that's the way it should be. You should be held 100% accountable. And I totally agree for that. When you become into political office, you're not just, making judgments for yourself. You're making judgments for everyone, including their families. So as far as I'm concerned, if you're in political office, you should be looking at it as, what is good for my children and what is good for your children, no matter where you are within the country. There has to be compromise to it. Like Alberta in Canada is the only province that really is self-supporting. If we were to separate from Canada and become our own country, the rest of Canada would fall completely apart. They would have to depend on all exports down to the United States in order for themselves to be profitable. You know what I mean? Hold on. We're gonna kill the camera here, and we're gonna kill that light. This light's days are numbered. I tell you, my arm is pretty damn sore. Stirring that giant 82. Now, she did have a giant paddle for it, but that 82 quart pot was huge. Yeah, so, and my dad's bringing a whole bunch more quart jars and everything else. We got I'd say about 85% of all her tomatoes processed. But we ran out of, including the ones that I brought, but we ran out of mason jars. And I brought over 2 cases of, I think there's 2 quart jars, if I remember right. Because I brought the big jars. Can't remember how many quarts are in the big ones. Come on, hurry up, drop your load. There we go. Now I gotta wait for the hook to come up. And grab that one. Thank you. Now let's just do a quick little runabout up here on each floor. I don't think we saw any more heavy elements up in here. No? No, okay. That's turned off. Yeah, we're good there. Alright, let's go to O2. Yeah, something about ships that I do know that apparently I guess a lot of people don't know is if you're on a ship, the very first number, if you look on the walls and everything, the very first number, if it says 1, that means you're subdeck 1. If it says 01, then you're on deck 1. So anything with a 0 in front means upper floors, anything without a 0 and below are subfloors. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, my man. Sorry to hear that. I know what it's like to live in chronic pain, as everybody well knows. I'm very vocal about it. But dude, yeah, no, I'm sorry to hear that. Ah, it sucks. No, you know, from one chronic pain patient to another, dude. I hope that you're able to get all the medical help that you need to be able to work with it. I've known actually a few people now who are no longer with us because they just, you know, they weren't able to cope with it, and it's very disheartening and very sad when I hear, you know, people passing because of it. I have too many things going on in this world, and I haven't learned nearly enough to have my end come near, which is one of the reasons why I'm taking like all the heart meds and everything else now too. You know, they might do havoc on my kidneys and everything, but you know, I got caveman. I got caveman. I'm gonna hang out with that kiddo as long as I can for as much as I can. Gotcha. Totally understand, man. Absolutely. When, you know, when pain rears its ugly head and everything, you know, motivation to do anything to, you know, be around people is very, very low. Absolutely. You go through your day just getting through what you can, you know, having to deal with, you know, how does my dad put it? Putting up with other people's shit all the time. But my dad hates people. He can talk to them and everything else, not a problem. But when he's gone, he's like, oh, fuck, thank God it's over. Like, if I had to stand there for another 10 minutes talking, I would have been getting pretty irate. But, yep, Dad, I know. Is there no way of coming in onto this main floor here? What the hell? Alright. No outside exit. Gotta come in here. Is there an inside in? How the hell are we supposed to get down in there? What the frick? I guess it's the only way we can come in through here. Alright. Oh. I got this. I'm glad to see you though, man. I'm glad that you gotten the gumption to come on in and hang out today, my dude. Good to see you. Been a long time. Been a long time indeed. Now, are we going to be able to bust this entire wall down, or are we going to have to throw up some explosives? I think we should be alright. I think we should be able to get this entire section here without using explosives. By the end of stream today, we should get the final achievement at this time until they add more to the game. I don't know if they're going to add more achievements later, but at this point, I think we'll have 100% of the achievements by the end of streams. The last achievement that's on the list is... let's take a look. Top guide, screenshots, where's achievements? God damn it. I hate this new frickin' thing, achievements. Wall Street Whale, keep a total of 100,000 on your account. So we're at, what are we at, 97,996? So, we're getting there. By end of stream today, we should get it with this. With either the finishing of this boat or the selling of all our materials that we have stacked up there, because we got quite a bit of equipment up top there that we can get rid of. Looking good though. You all good? Ooh. That one go. I think there, yeah, there's a blue dot right there. That will not pop because it's behind that, so we'll throw an explosione right there. And we'll take care of its little red wagon. Yellow. Hopefully if we do this right, by just popping that one explosive, we should get the entire top 3 floors should all come down on themselves. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. You know, for as simplistic as a game as this is, basically it's just, 6 different things. You know, you got your, picking up, you got your smashing, you got your grinding, you got your torching, you got your heavy elements, as well as the being able to use your rope and the explosives. This game is really good. I mean, you compare that to things like Pool Cleaning Simulator or anything along those lines. This is a nice little kickback, chill game. I'd say the devs did really good on it. Should be proud of themselves. Alright, so now I'm going to turn the flashlight off, and we're going to look around, and we're going to see if we see any blue dots anywhere on any of the walls or the floorings. Nothing in here. Guys are good. You're all clear. Just that one blue dot there. What we got the explosive on that. Those are all good. Good. All the way around. Okay. All right. Hey, everything looks good. Ow. Just walk into that pole there, GG. Just go for it. Face plant that puppy. Alright, you ready? Alright, fingers crossed. This thing's gonna go boom. Wait for it. Wait for it. Come on, did we do a good job? We did! That is so satisfying. I don't know what it is about that, but that is just so satisfying when you get everything in one roll like that. Love it. Love it. Oh, oh man. It's a trap. We got trapped. Gotcha. Both are great places. I know a few people who are from the Alabama region. And very good people. Not to mention the food that they can make is amazing. Totally different to what the Canadian style of food is, and very enjoyable indeed. I've never had catfish until one of my friends from... yeah, he was from Alabama. I had to think about that for a second, but yeah. He made up a really good catfish fry-up type thing. Oh, man, it was so good. I'm not much of a rice kind of guy, but the way he did it, it was perfect. It was a wonderful meal. Speaking of Alabama, I haven't seen Toonie around in a while. John, I wonder how he's doing. Hope him and his family are doing well. I know that his mom wasn't doing so well after I believe it was a car accident, I believe. I know that John was also in a car accident as well with his whole family, but they seem to be pulling through all right with that one. They got hit by, I believe he said it was a drunk driver. Last I heard, he was doing pretty well for himself. His eldest was banged up pretty good, but was able to heal up well through it. Now, of course, they got to wait for the courts to go through, and hopefully everything goes well and he gets a fair settlement. In Canada here, because of these woke politics, you can only sue up to a certain amount, and it's pathetic. It's like $10,000. You know, it's ridiculous what they put the caps on. Yeah, no. And it's funny how, you know, that particular government that was in power at the time who installed that got thrown out for it, and yet when the new political parties came in, they didn't get rid of it. When, you know, it was one of the things that they based their platform on was that, yeah, we'll get rid of the limits that you can sue for, you know, damages and physical harm and all this other type of crap. I mean, they do the same thing for, you know, physical altercations, you know, like from, you know, like fist fights down to rape too. They have it all like, oh yeah, you know, you're only allowed X amount. Like, how dare you put a dollar amount on the trauma of what somebody's gone through? You know, that's for the courts, not for the political. Once again, we're going back into politics, aren't we? Looking forward to this weekend, though. Captain Caveman, he's going to, hopefully, if he feels confident enough, I'll be getting him up on a Honda 90 on a trike. See if he can be irresponsible and enough to enjoy that. Fingers crossed. It was good, man. It was really good. Like, we might have some catfish up here in Canada, but if we do, I haven't heard about it. Most of the time, you know, my buddy Bob and I went fishing. It was for either like trout or trout, rainbow trout. I can't remember the other types, and bass. But mostly we went out for trout because he loved trout. And since he was First Nations descent, we could go out and go to some really good fishing holes that haven't been overfished in our, I call it local area, but I mean within 3 hours of Calgary. Basically anything that's public within 3 hours of Calgary has been really overfished by the public. So with his First Nation status, we were able to go around and go to all the little hidden spots that none of the other fishermen have access to. It was great. Absolutely amazing. Amazing fishing. On average, every 3 casts that you put out, you'd be bringing in a fish. Bob, he was pretty picky, though. He was really picky. He'd be like, nope, that's not big enough. Put it back. Yep. Nope, that one's not big enough. Put it back. Yep. By the end of the day, we'd only grab about 2 or 3 fish between each other, do a camp, and have fish that night. And, oh, man, he knew how to cook over cast iron on a fire. Like nobody's business. He'd bring like a dollop of butter, a little bit of packages of seasoning, some breadcrumbs, and I can't remember all that he did. I think he had an egg, but he was just so fast at doing it, you couldn't keep up with him. It was always so good. Like, oh. But then again, Bob was the type of guy that, you know, he'd leave in May, come back home, you know, beginning of September. You know, he would be living out in the woods, just on his own, just away from everything. When he was younger, he had a lady who, that's the best way to put it. She couldn't remain faithful to save her life. You know what I mean? So he's like, you know what? The hell with it. I don't need women. And so that was it. He never had a girlfriend after that. You know, he just lived his own life, did his own thing, and yeah, most of the time, yeah, you called, you'd leave a message on his phone, and if it's between May and September, you won't hear from him because he's not in any cellular service area. He'd go out there with his pickup truck with a camper on it, and that's where he lived for that entire time. He said, you know, a life of freedom is the life for him. So I can totally understand that, like, trying to go in and enjoying, enjoying a boat. Yeah, no, I definitely could understand that. How Bob would explain it to me. It's like, it's just absolutely fantastic freedom. He doesn't have anybody or anything to tell him what he can and can't do, other than as long as he stayed on First Nations land, and he knew several tribes all across British Columbia, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. So he had many, many, many different places that he could go fish. Just out he went, happy as hell. So all the more power to you. Yeah, you got one of those with the vice president. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that the shutdown was averted, but sad to hear that in order to do that, they had to basically not talk about any of the any further assistance with Ukraine on it. It was like, that's disgusting. I mean, come on. I can totally understand putting a limit on things, like, okay, you know what? We'll let you have all our old tech and everything that, instead of us servicing it and everything, it is still, on comparison or a little better than what, the opposing forces have. So I can understand that. It's a win-win on both sides. Between Canada and the States, we no longer have to maintain some of that older equipment. But it can still get used before it gets wrecked. You know what I mean? So, I'm all for that. But as for, handing out new items and things along those lines, well, that's technology that could go into, the opposing force's hands should it ever be captured. And, I can totally understand, security, that you don't want them knowing what you got should the event ever happen that, that opposing force becomes our opposing force. I have to admit, a lot of people make fun of our army and everything else, but we just don't advertise what we got. What we got is actually pretty good. We don't need that many or that much, but what we do have is good stuff, and we keep it in really good working order, including the older stuff that we have. But we'll see how long that takes with the current government. Let's see here. Almost all the way around. Yeah. It doesn't take very long to fill up this bucket. I want to see when they do come up with an update with some more boats. Apparently they're going to try to do multiplayer. They're going to do more boats, that type of thing. I would like to see them extend this hand basket here, this crate. I mean, 240, you see how often I'm running back, tossed into the back of the truck? I think it needs to be cut in half. So if they were to increase it to, say, 500 kilos. Yes, I know that's, not really a, realistic in any way, shape, or form, carrying, 500 kilos by yourself. But I mean, neither is carrying 240 kilos. We're well past that point. We need something more. We shouldn't have to keep on, like right now, I gotta run back again. God dang it. You waste more time running back to your truck in this game than you do actually collecting, and I think that is an oversight for gameplay. But I have to admit that the Polish developers have come a long way. Even though they're all still under that Playway banner. And, it's a Playway is a payday for them, for the Polish people. Yeah. And unfortunately, should things escalate over there, I believe, Poland's going to be, on that front line, and, we won't be getting as many games, folks. Unfortunately, the age of... the age of the developers versus the age of, like, either conscription or fighting force age is all the same. And we all know what happens in war. There are a lot of good talent will be wasted, unfortunately. no longer be with us. It is sad, but it is unfortunate. It's the human condition. That hole can be taken care of. That's all done to load here. Excellent. Alright, that's all empty. Let's go on over here and bust up this. I'm pretty sure, like 85% sure we got a heavy element just underneath this area here. I think. We're good? We're good. Alright. We'll Gucci. Let's come on over here. Knock it all down. See what we got. Did we get locked in? No, we didn't. Okay. Yeah, right there. There's one right there. Aha! I was correct. Look at that. For you. Lock that out. Yeah. Yeah, no, not even I, man. Not even when I was in the Olympic wrestling. Nope. Not when I had like 17-inch arms. There's no way I could have tossed 200 kilos. I was going up, built up the bulk so that I could do 315 pounds, like bar pressing and everything, right? They didn't want me getting any bigger after they got me up to a certain point where I was pressing 315 pounds. I had to be able to do 3 sets of 10 in a row. And that's what we worked on. So they got me bulked all the way up to be able to push that 315 pounds. And then once I was able to start pushing the 315 pounds, then we worked on toning the muscles so that way I could maintain doing more and more reps. Like, I remember the first time I was able to push 300 pounds, man. I was over the moon, like, woo! And then they're like, okay, you're up to 300. Let's get you working on now on tone and strength, like maintaining the strength for longevity in that. And so we did that. And yeah, for 5 years, I was on the same routine over and over, just pushing 300 pounds. And then we got up to about 315 when it started. I was like, guys, I could probably do a little bit more. And they're like, all right, let's bring you up to 315. And like, so we did that. And they're like, okay, yep, this is where we're going to keep you at. Keep you on the nutritionals. It was a blast, man. I would never complain about any of the physical pain and everything I went through at those times. It was well worth it. Yeah, no, exactly. It's not super realistic, and I'm happy for that. Like, it still gives you a lot of fun in this game. Like I said, when all those walls come down all in one go, it's so satisfying. So satisfying. I don't know why. It just is. For me, anyway. Might not be, but my views say it might not be, but I could care less about the views. I'm getting to hang out with you folks and, keep on top of chat. Okay. Every once in a while, I dream about streaming. Every once in a blue moon. Like, I'd probably say, on average, maybe once a month, once every 2 months, I'll have a dream about streaming. And I dream that when I look over at chat, I've missed like 50 messages in a row, and it's like, what the hell am I doing? How can I miss so many messages? And it's just funny. I wake up and I'm looking around and I'm like, that must be something that really bugs me, is that if I miss what somebody's saying in chat. I swear to goodness. Like, as my brother and my mom say, she goes, my mom's always bugging me. She's like, you need to own your own business, like, because you can't do all the physical work, but you can chip in when needed. You could do like she really wants me to open a restaurant. Like honestly, she's just dying for me to open a restaurant. I'm like, yeah, it's because when you get too old to cook for yourself, Ma, you want to be able to just come on into my restaurant and sit down, and enjoy really good meals that you like. And she's like, hell yeah, damn straight. She goes, yeah, you're an amazing cook. I'm like, yeah, but I wouldn't be cooking. She goes, yeah, but you'd be training those cooks. If it doesn't taste the way that you like it, you're going to tell them about it. Okay, yeah, Ma, you're right. Yeah, that's true. I would. I am that type of guy. It's like, I trained you to cook it this way. Don't throw your bloody little, little throws onto it or anything like that. If you want to come at me with a new dish or something, that's fine. But don't serve it unless I approve it. Yeah, and then change out through the drive-through window. Don't you hate that when you dream about things like work? It's like, come on, I'm sleeping here. Why can't it be like, a blonde, a brunette, a redhead, like, come on now. Come on, brain. Let's get some priorities going on here. You know what I'm saying? Oh. And that was 30 years ago. Oh, wow. You must have been traumatized. Yeah. I mean, and 30 years ago, we didn't have like 1/10 the amount of Karens we have today. But also 30 years ago, if some jackass were to come into my store and either A, dine and dash, or what's the other one? It's like steal something from me, if it was a store, like a grocery store or something, we were allowed to haul their ass down. And I mean, if they had like even like a bloody nose or a bruised forehead because of them getting smacked onto the floor, that was the normal operating procedure, right? Now you do that and you're going to get bloody charged with assault and all this other crap. It's like, screw that. If somebody's coming into my business trying to take the money out from underneath either A, my employees, or B, my children's mouth, I'm sorry, you're going to have a double think on that. And I believe that's the way it should be. I don't care about any princesses that may think any different. You were to come into my place of business and do anything along those lines, yeah, I believe I should have the right to slap you frickin' silly. I will hold your ass down. I will put you into a chokehold. I will knock your ass out. And then I'm going to smack you so black and blue while you're passed out that when you wake up, you're going to wonder what the hell just happened to you. I have no issues with that whatsoever. The moment that you do anything like that, you have given up your right to what's the word I'm looking for? You lost your right basically to any civilian style or any humanity whatsoever. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to make sure that you have my handprints across your face, your back, your legs, your arms, everything. I will bruise your ass black and blue. But you're not allowed to do that anymore, and I think that is absolute crap. Absolute. And I don't think so. Now, I don't believe you should be breaking bones or anything along those types of lines. No. No, make it count. You know what I mean? Like, leave their face so bloody black and blue and disfigured, like, just from slapping. Like, open hand slaps. It's amazing the amount of blood vessel damage that you can do with an open hand slap. If you mess somebody's face up for like 3 weeks, they're going to think twice before doing stupid stuff like that again. Absolutely. But no, you're not allowed to do that anymore. All these snowflakes. And it's like, no, screw that noise. You thought you had the right to come in here and take, to take advantage of my business? Well, guess what? I also have the right to use any of my physical force that is not going to leave you permanently harmed. I believe that's the way the rules should be. But that, once again, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Oh, like the other day, I was in 7-Eleven, and this guy comes in, they're like, get out, get out, get out, and I'm like, I look over at the boss, and I'm like, you want me to take care of it, Donna? And she's like, She goes, you can't. She goes, I don't want you getting in trouble. She goes, we like you as a customer. We want you to hang around. She goes, now, if it was some of these other dickheads that we got, maybe I'd say it's okay. But you, no. We like you. We love it when you come in here. Okay. Are you sure? She's like, yeah, no. I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, do you want me to get a picture and put it on my social platforms? And so, at City of Calgary with this crap. And she's like, no. She goes, because I'm just going to get in trouble from my boss for allowing it to happen. And it's like, that is absolute horse shit. Excuse my language, but don't excuse my language because it's true. It's horse shit. Yeah, no, it does, isn't it? It drives it. It just bewilders the hell out of me that people go into those slapping competitions. It's like, if you'd ever been slapped properly in your lifetime, you wouldn't be doing that competition. You would know. But I mean, it's just, they're making it a sport? Are you stupid? Do you have any idea how much, muscular damage you can do? Now, it might not be physical, not physical, it is physical damage. It might not be permanent damage, unless, you smack somebody hard enough that you wrench their neck around. And I've seen that, where, somebody gets a bone spur in their neck because they got slapped so damn hard. But the guy hit a woman right in front of the big dude, and the guy just open hand smacked him so hard, knocked him out. And yeah, in the end, he ended up getting charged. Now, the charges were dropped. The police service tried to continue with the charges, and the guy's like, no. He's like, you know what? I hit a woman. He only open hit me, like open-handed me. He didn't, absolutely, crush me. Because the guy could have easily totally destroyed this guy, but he didn't. He held back, and he only hit him once with an open hand. That was it. But the Calgary police are like, no, we're going to have to charge you with this, and this. And it was the guy that, originally, was like, oh yeah, I want to press charges. And then he dropped the charges, but the police wanted to continue with the charges. And he's like, no, I deserved it. But it probably also had a lot to do with the fact that if the charges had been pushed through, there may have been the promise of some retaliation via some motorcycle clubs in the area, maybe possibly just saying that there was the chance of that happening. Not saying it did, but there was a possibility of that chance of happening. That, the guy knew better. Like, take my lumps and go from there, or do I have a lifetime of running in fear? So I think he made the right choice. But yeah, the police were like, nope, doesn't matter. We're gonna keep pressing charges. And the guy's like, you press charges against him, I'm gonna press charges against you. Your abuse of authority, something along those lines. So they had to back off. But yeah, no, it's like, this is crazy. The guy could have easily threw him up into a pile driver and busted his neck and been in the rights to. That guy punched that girl. Like, wow, that was crazy. That's the world we live in right now, unfortunately. The cops are allowed to intimidate, and come on. This is the one thing I do not like about Polish developers. This right here, they have no idea how to model mesh collisions. Zero, zilch, nada, nothing. It is like space between the ears when it comes to mesh collisions. I can't even pick this up. How am I supposed to? Come on. Jesus. See, and that's the biggest thing. And when it comes down to the capability of Playway and any other subsidiaries, it's, they teach the developers, basically Playway is a school, is the best way to put it. Playway is a school. He's like, oh yeah, we'll teach you how to be a developer, but we get to have 85% of your, whatever your game makes, that type stuff. And then when they got too big and that they had to start paying a lot in taxes, they decided that, maybe we should just, subdivide, and subdivide some more. And that's what we're left with today. So like there's anything with an SA behind it is pretty much that. Alex, how you doing, my man? How you doing today? Yeah, the world's going to a handbasket. But, you know, I do the best that I can. I speak with my MLA. My MLA and I are on member of Legislative Assembly for those. It's basically my government representative for the district that I live in. So, I mean, we're on a first-name basis. I mean, he's a great guy. The last one that we had prior to his reign was a bit of a self-absorbed prick. That's why he's no longer in the position that he was in. And one of those types of guys that, you know, like, oh yeah, I know what's best, you know. It's like, yeah, how about you and I sit down and we have a bit of a conversation and I'm going to make you look like a fool in front of your entire party. Let's do it. Come on, set it up. Set it up. Well, what do you want to talk about? No, I'm not going to. No. You got to be able to think on your feet. You want me to think on my feet when I come into here? You got to be able to think on your feet in this debate. Let's do it. And they never will. They will never will. Even with my fibrofog, I can put these guys under the table when it comes down to common sense. my MLA, the one day he said something to me and I just fired right back something that just made so much common sense. He just kind of, oh. You've definitely given me a different view to think on that. Yeah, and it's kind of a smarter view than what you're thinking because your view is for this and this. Your view wasn't for the overall, and you just kind of, yeah, you're right. Yeah, good. Yeah, common sense ain't so common. Yeah, but that common sense hasn't been common since World War II. Minimum, like since my grandfather's era. Actually, I guess my grandfather's era was World War I and II. That's just because of what his age was at the time. But no, my granddad, I mean, he grew up back in the day when, you know, I mean, even I, for the first, I think it was up until grade 2 that the teachers were allowed to smack us with rulers. Technically, I was supposed to be left-handed. I shoot left-handed in hockey, in golf, but I have to write right-handed because for the first 2 years that I was in grade school, I'd get my fingers wrapped with a ruler, with a metal edge on that ruler, too, for writing with my left hand. Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Can't write left-handed to save my life anymore, though. It was, except for, go figure, I was so stressed out in my high school final, I wrote my entire English essay left-handed. And my teacher, who knew I was right-handed, saw what was going on, and when I handed it in, she's like, you do realize you wrote everything left-handed. And when I went and looked at my fingers, sure enough, I had the dent in my finger for where you hold the pencil in the left hand. I completely wrote my entire final essay in left-handed. And I'd never written anything left-handed since I was in like grade 1. I was so stressed out because I was trying to go for the college that I was trying to get into at the time. Needed really, really high marks in English. And one of the things that I wasn't very good in was the spelling and grammars type stuff. But yeah. Left-handed, knew I was evil. Yeah, but still to this day, I play golf left-handed. Well, when I was able to. Baseball swung left-handed. You know, everything was done left-handed, except for writing. But throwing in baseball, I am right-handed. I will say that. But up at bat, I'm actually a bit of a switch hitter, but I do have more of a chance of home run if I swing left-handed than if I do right-handed. I'm more accurate if I swing right-handed, but I don't have the power. And that's how you can pretty much tell if somebody is a true left-handed person or not, is basically their power. It's like, oh. At least that's what the baseball coach told me back then. He's like, yeah, you're a true lefty. Like, oh. So this popped. This one popped. You're ambidextrous as well? Nice. Yeah, like I said, I'm mostly like, like I said, when it comes down to accuracy, I'm a lot better right-handed for how often I hit, but I just don't seem to have that power. When I go left-handed and I connect. I really connect to that. Yeah, well, and that was the thing. When I first started, when I was a little kid, I'd go up to like the batting plate and I'd have to, this doesn't feel, okay, this feels more natural than this way. Okay, I'll do it this way. Like it was always, it didn't matter on, if the pitcher was left-handed or right-handed. It just depended on, what felt the most comfortable at that time. And that's how I did. That's how I did it. I would still do it today if I was still able to play. Getting way too old to play those stuff. Yeah. I'll pitch the ball to kiddo and everything else, but I won't be playing no beer league for this guy. Nope. Heart won't take that stuff no more, dang it. Might not watch sports or anything along those lines either, but you know what? I'll cheer my son on if that's what he's doing. And there we go. I thought that was a full batch because it wasn't picking anything up. Nope, it just turned out that, once again, the modeling, collision models on this game are horrible. They get the job done, but that's it. They get the job done. I love how my computer is saying that GTA is using a lot of resources on my PC, but I'm on 8K max graphics. Holy crap, Alex. 8K? Are you kidding, man? I'd be happy with just 4K. Oh, after seeing what my brother has on his PC, it's like, oh, wow. Like, Red Dead Redemption looks so beautiful compared to my 1080p. That Star Wars Survivor that he played looks absolutely gorgeous. The new one there that he's playing there, Starfield. Oh man, it's like I don't even want to play Starfield unless I have 4K after seeing what he has. It just looks so good. But from what I'm being told, that Starfield game is massive. Something like, like 50 hours just for the main storylines, and then you can tack on like another 500 or something like that for the rest of it. Like, wow, that's a big game. That's a big game. I'm glad that they're making games like that again. That would keep me busy for several months. But then again, I try not to play too much outside of stream. Like I might put in like another hour and a half, maybe 2 hours on top of what I do in stream, but later in the evenings. Basically right after supper, I'll play for a little while, and that, that's when I have Caveman. When I have Caveman, it's all about him, right? So he's on the PC, or we are outside and we're hanging out, playing together out there, doing whatever it is that he wants. We all good here? We all Gucci, alright. But yeah, if it sounded like a plane, man, yeah, turn it down to 4K graphics. Turn it down. I mean, do you even have an 8K monitor? Do they even make 8K gaming monitors? I don't know. I've known that I'm never going to be able to afford something like that crazy, right? So it's like I've never taken a look. I've looked at 4K screens, especially like around like Black Fridays and that, but when I was married, my ex would be like, nope, we have a kid now. Money goes to him. You have a computer that's working right now, that's good enough. If it dies, then you can worry about getting a replacement for as is, that's it. But yeah. Meanwhile, she's got herself a brand new car. Oh, it's hilarious. She just bought herself a brand new car. She got rid of her 7-year-old car because it wasn't new enough. Yep. It's like, thank you. More ammo for the judge. Thank you very much. Yep. The deal was that she put, I take care of most of the expenses. She put her money away into the RRSPs and that, so we could buy a house and all that type of stuff, which she hardly ever did because she was making payments on the new cars that she always had to have. Drove me nuts, but when you really love somebody, you put up with their faults, right? Being as a male, we give. Yeah, being single now, I don't think I'm going to worry about ladies for a while. Yep. The atmosphere for the attitude of the way that a lot of the ladies are today is incompatible with my old school morality. Yeah. I have nothing against women who are into doing like the OnlyFans and stuff like that. Just they will never share my bed. Never. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, before the days of the OnlyFans, it was the same thing for ladies who got themselves into adult entertainment. Same thing. You ever done adult entertainment? I would never date you. You could be the greatest, sweetest person in the world. Wouldn't date you. You had more than, you know, if you have more partners than you do fingers on one hand, I wouldn't date you. Yeah. No Man's Skyrim? No. Haven't done that. Oh, the mod, huh? Gotcha. Yeah, no. I would like to, I'd like to see what Grand Theft Auto would look like on 4K after the many years that I played that on the Xbox. Played that with a really good group of people. The IDAGF crew. It was a I don't give a fuck crew. It was great. We had so much fun. We weren't trolls. We were very what's the word that I'm looking for? We were good sports is the best way to put it. You know what I mean? So we ended up having a lot of people come join us. Like that was the weird thing. It was like anytime that, you know, myself, Dental, Dopers, any of those guys got on, you know, it was like, oh yeah, I remember you guys. We played like 2 weeks ago. Do you remember we did this thing together and all that? Like, hey, you want to hang out? Like, yeah, sure, come in. And I will admit, we actually had quite a few lady gamers who played with us as well. You know, like they were like, oh yeah, you know, you guys are awesome. You know, you don't bash me or, you know what I mean, because I make a mistake or anything. You're like, eh, no worries, we'll do better next time. You know, like that's the way the whole crew was. It was awesome. Every once in a while, you get some guy who's straggling around, and, you know, picking on him and everything. It's like, look, kid, guy, it's not grade school. You know, like, you want to be a jerk? Well, you won't be hanging out with us. And, you know, oh yeah, what are you going to do about it? Well, then we just follow you around and we grenade the hell out of you all the time, basically. You know, a nice car, boom, enjoy fixing it up. Steal his car, put it into a place that he has to recall it with insurance. Make him spend the money. But yeah, no, we had quite a few ladies that worked with us. Actually, one of the ladies who redid my gargoyle logo to the logo that you guys see today, just the actual gargoyle itself, not the background. But the actual gargoyle itself was my original gargoyle didn't look nearly as good as that, and she took my original and she turned it into what you see today. An amazing lady. Lots of arts talent. And I'm like, okay, you know, let me pay for it. Oh, it's yours. Are you sure about that? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, well, I have it in writing, so when I put the copyright on it, and she's like, nope, that's fine. I'm okay with that. She goes, it's yours. I made it for you. It was a thanks. I'm like, well, thank you. You're awesome. Yeah, that all comes back from, you know, just being really decent people in the world of the Grand Theft Auto. God, we had so much fun then. Oh, it was so much fun. I wonder what those guys are up to these days. They were the ones that were egging me on, especially Dental. He's like, dude, you gotta get on Justin TV. Dude, you gotta get on Justin TV. You're hilarious. But we were playing a bunch of hockey back in those days, and I'll admit, I suck as a forward, but as a defender, I do pretty good. In defenders with NHLs. But mind you, working with Electronic Arts, I should, because that was one of the few games that I had to do a whole bunch of testing on. So yeah. Currently repairing. Gotcha. Bye-bye. Nice. I love it when a plan comes together like that. Make it look good as everything collapsed down. Don't know if this one will or not. No, this one won't. It's got too many other pieces in between. Dang it. Yes, I do. Have you guys seen that Monba Zoo just gave a teaser drop for when for the next update? So I'm hoping that within the next month, folks, we'll have an update for Monba Zoo so we can continue on. I've just completed everything that's possible in that game at this point in time, and now it's just all about making more money, and we have like $1 million already. I mean, there's really not much more that I can do to provide entertainment for you guys other than, like I said, making more money. And I don't think that's very, entertaining in that. Not to mention, I'm still a little put off by the fact that we don't have the, oh, come on. The steering wheel support. That's the word I'm trying to think of. I want my steering wheel support back. I really enjoyed playing with the steering wheel, and one of the biggest goof ups that developer has ever done. Once again, he doesn't know how to mesh collide either. Like, really, they just need to take some courses on how to do mesh collisions. Like, and the games would be so much better. But also, when you're dealing with the Unity engine, I mean, it's not the greatest engine. I mean, and they're sinking themselves. I think what's going on is Unity is trying to get bought up. I think that's going on. I think they're trying to get somebody to come in to buy them up, and they're just going to take the money and run. They haven't done any real work to the Unity engine in a long time, like meaningful work. And so I think that's what's going on there. But that's, once again, that's just my hypothesis. That might not be what's going on. Oh, we won't be starting over until the game comes out to full release. And then, see, the biggest problem is, and it's something that I've noticed, is that whenever we do a lot of the early access games, we go through all the material and everything that's in the early access. When they come out for full release, they only have like one or two small little things that come with it, and it doesn't feel like you should just restart. It's like, oh, well, here's your new car. I was like, did you really want me to completely start all over just to get to that new car? And then, another creator will just go, hell with it. Here, we'll just go through the new material and we'll move on to the next game. And, you get a lot better, viewership and more subscribers and things like that for it. And it's like, So every time I've started a series over after it's full released, it hasn't done nearly as good as it did while it was in early access. Like we'll find, only one or two people in chat because they're like, oh, well, we've already seen all this. You've already done all that. I was like, oh. And I don't like playing games without you folks for, like, getting farther ahead unless, I have enough people. Like for this game example, we were like, yeah, just go ahead, play a little bit, get yourself the better hammers and some explosives and things like that, just so that streams can go by a little bit smoother for you. And I was like, yeah, okay, you know what, you make a good point there, okay. So that's what we did here, was that, I moved ahead a little bit in my spare time in order to, get the better equipments and stuff, so that way you guys aren't sitting here watching me pound these rivets 3 individual times, or sitting on one of those cross members and cutting it with a grinder for like 5 minutes, you know what I mean? Oh, enjoy the trip, my man. Enjoy the trip. I don't know what the weather's going to be like during those times of the year over there, but enjoy. Don't be sorry. Thank you for letting me know, though, that you're going to be gone. I appreciate that. But yeah, no, enjoy that trip. Portugal, huh? Well, from what I hear, Portugal's got a lot of nudist beaches, so go out there and work on your tan if it's possible. You thought I was going to say something different, didn't you? Yeah, no, work on your tan. Don't be a pervert. Go work on your tan. Oh. And most definitely enjoy. Is it like a big family thing, or are you just going over that type stuff? Is it just you, or is it like the whole fam? But yeah, no, go over and enjoy the culture, enjoy the food. That's one thing that anybody who goes and travels, enjoy the food from the other cultures. If you have any food allergies or anything else, be careful. Ask questions, but definitely go and enjoy yourselves. Enjoy everything that they have to offer, for sure. The whole family, sweet. Alright, I must have left something standing. This should have fell all on its own. Oop, I overtossed that one by... Oh, no, it actually went in. I thought I for sure overshot that because I fell down into the hole. But no, we're good. We're good. Good Gucci. Dang it, kiddo. Getting me saying that all the time. Caveman says, yeah, it's Gucci, Dad. It's Gucci. He says it all the time. And I've picked it up. It drives me nuts. It's not usually a word in my vocabulary. What you looking at? Oh, such a good song. Exactly, my man. Exactly. Food is what brings everybody together. The word companion is literal translation for breaking bread together, eating together. I'm also a proponent that, everybody should sit at the kitchen table together as a family every night. Homework for kids should literally be home work, meaning, being with your family, working together as a family. You gotta work on the home. So yeah, no, for breakfast, even with, I don't eat breakfast. I can't. If I eat breakfast, I just feel off for the entire day. It's very rare that I'll have a breakfast. But I'll sit down with Captain Caveman and we'll have a conversation while, he's eating his cereal in the morning. When he's ready to talk in between mouthfuls, then we talk, type deal. But I would never, ever leave him to himself when I'm home. You know what I mean? Like when he gets older and that, and type thing, and he goes to school on his own or whatever it might be, then oh, here we go. Hold on, here it is. This is what we're looking for. Oh, dang it. That piece of metal was in the way. We didn't get to see a good shot of that falling down. Oh well. Can't win them all. But yeah, no, he never eats alone, and from as far as I can tell, he's happy with that. He likes hanging out with Dad when he has his breakfast. But he's used to it. Since day one, since he was a little baby. Didn't matter. I was always there, not because I was worried that he was going to choke or anything, but because it's a good time to have quality time together. Even got him to the point now where it's like when I go to cook, he's like, Dad, can I watch? Like, yeah, you can help too if you want. He's like, well, you just let me know what I can help with and I'll be happy to. So yeah, when I make French fries and all that, he now cuts up all the French fries. Like I'll cut the potatoes so that they fit into the potato slicer. And then he puts in the potato, and then he presses down, slices it into French fries, and puts them into the sink and washes them out with the cold water. And yeah, he knows all about parboiling and everything, so you can get nice crispy fries. And afterwards, when we eat dinner, he's like, "Oh, Dad, these are really, really good." Like, yeah. Alright, what's SMTH? Anyways, GG, I'm doing stuff in SMTH called Universe. Something called Universe? Sandbox? What should I do? I have no idea. I don't know what particular game that is. I've never played it myself. It probably wouldn't be something that I would play, so I wouldn't have the foggiest idea what you could do. I wouldn't say I'm picky about the games that I play. Oh, it's a space game. I'd say survive. You know, breathe. Breathe in a helmet. You know, that type of stuff. But I guess as Cloyd says, you know, definitely, you know, food is what brings, you know, people together. Companion, the word companion comes from breaking bread, pan, bread, you know, together, you know, that type of thing. So, uh-oh. Gotta sneeze. No, let me finish this well first. Oh boy. Ugh. Ooh, burning sinus. I can't do it. Hold on. Okay. Okay, I think my sinus is good for the moment. Oh, wow. Oh, I hate it when your sinus burns so bad that your eyes start tearing up. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. You're like locked into that burning, sensitive pain. Wow. Oh, okay. We're good. I think we're good. I don't think we're going to... Oh, wow. Yeah, pretty sure that as I'm getting older here, my allergies are getting worse. I never used to sneeze this much as a young man. But the getting older thing, I tells you. Yeah, I think we're good here. I think we're good. All right, let's see what happens if we try to break it. Yeah, nailed it. Did it again. Sweet. All right, what do we got left here? Did the floor stay up on this side? Just curious if it did. Yeah, it did. Alright, well, we'll have to come back and clean that up when we get there. Now we're on the cleaning part. Clean. Make a black hole quarter the size of the moon and place it halfway between the Earth and the moon. See which gets sucked in first. Do you want me to give you the answer to that, Cloyd, or do you know what the answer is to that? Right? There is a very simple answer to that one. Yeah. I could go all Neil deGrasse Tyson on you folks here and explain to you how the answer to that is actually very, very simple. You'll do the sand one? But yeah, a black hole has got a gravimetric pull that is of equal, right? And since mass means nothing while in space, that they would both be sucked into the black hole equally. Yeah. Oh, it's just something you can do in Universe Sandbox. Gotcha. Okay, cool. But in real life, that's how it would happen. They would both get sucked in equally. Just because mass does not matter. Mass is made of matter, but it doesn't matter when it comes to gravimetrical pulls. Not with a black hole, because the strength of that black hole's gravimetrics would over-dominate anything to deal with mass. It would become so negligible that it would probably be like, 10 trillionth of a picosecond. That would be the difference between first contact between the Earth and the Moon. Jupiter just ate it. Then the black hole didn't have its proper density. Just saying. It wasn't true density of a black hole. Well, when I was in school, I was really interested in all that. I still am. I mean, I read astrology I read scientific papers of all sorts, from astrology, astrometrics, those type of things, all the way through to, the last 3 or 4 years, I've been really going hardcore on this climate change and stuff. And here's the thing, I've watched websites change their results from 1950s and 60s. It's making me absolutely disgusted to see this. I believe that if any of your tax dollars, if any American that's on here listening right now, if any of your tax dollars is going to the NOAA organization, scream at your politicians to stop funding them. They are changing all their numbers to match the narrative that we're in a climate crisis. It is bullshit. Force them to show exactly what the numbers were instead of going through their publications. Show me the actual work and you will find 100% that those numbers no longer match. They're trying to say that it was colder back then than it truly was. It is disgusting. I've seen it in front of my face, how things have been edited out, and oh boy, does that ever piss me off. And you call them out on it and they just defer to, we'd rather not comment on it. Like, what? You'd rather not comment on how you're cheating everything. Like, no. 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 It almost makes me... what's the best way to put it? It almost... how can I put this? I almost hope that religion is 100% true and that there is a hell, because these people should be down in the deepest depths of it for all the manipulation for power that they're trying to put through lately. And you know what? I hope they get the comeuppance for it. Absolutely. It is... You can't trust any of these politically bounded climate scientists that are out there. They're all in it for the exact same thing. Control with energy. That's what there is no climate crisis. Through my education, my opinion is, and I mean, I do deep dives in education on this stuff. I do really deep dives. Like my ex-wife, she's like, oh, when you go into and you do something, you don't do it half-assed. You do it full on. I'm like, yeah, exactly. She goes, you'll read something over and over. It's like an obsession. It's like, no, I'm not obsessing over it. I'm burying that knowledge to be permanent in my head. GG speaking facts right now. Oh god. Yeah, no, I've seen it. I cannot believe that I've seen these charts being changed and manipulated. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? How can you get away with changing these charts and everything? And then when they get called on it, like, okay, let's see what the original notes that were taken that you guys had put these into. They can't provide it. They cannot provide it. So, sorry, you shouldn't receive any of my tax dollars. Science is about having a hypothesis and proving that hypothesis. Enough people redo your work, it becomes a theory. That is the way it should be. Not having whatever political party wants to have the best control over the population by the cost of energy, which is the world that we live in today. Everything's about energy. Either it's oil, natural gas, anything that produces energy. It's how they can control the populace. We are so dependent on electricals and consumer goods that without electricity you couldn't make some of these consumer goods. That type of stuff, right? And that's where all the power and control is laying. And it's disgusting. It's not power of the people anymore, it's power of the energy. Who controls the energy has all the power. Which is bogus. Which is why, if you ever notice, the first thing that ever to get sanctioned on countries is their energy sectors. Just saying, you want to know what makes the world go around. What sanctions are put down on countries first. And that'll tell you. That is the greatest indicator of what's out there. You don't need to go to school for that. You can just use common sense. But how could your Earth be shining brighter than the Milky Way? Just saying, there's a whole lot of energy in the Milky Way. The Earth should not be putting off that much energy. If you're putting out more energy than the sun, well, you should be a supernovae, not a planet. Just saying. The game might not be physically accurate, which would probably drive me nuts if I was playing a game like that and it like about space and it wasn't quite accurate, I'd probably go a little bit nuts. Oh yeah, if you threw the sun at the Earth, well, yeah, of course. I mean, you're going to get to a boat. Probably Mercury, in between Mercury, Venus orbit with that sun, and that sun's going to just completely melt out the Earth. You can break reality, gotcha. And see that, and my brain would be like, no, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong over here, and I wouldn't have as much fun with it. A black hole collision, amazing. You have more energy than the cosmic background radiation that we currently have, and when you merge two black holes together, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to see how it works. For that 1 trillionth of a picosecond, it would be just unbelievable to see. Yeah, it will make it one large black hole, but the convergence point, the combination of energy between the two, that like I said, that 1 trillionth of a second of that convergence is going to put out so much energy that it will overcome the background radiation energy that we see, microwave energy that we see today in real life. But once again, yeah, that's where my brain goes to, right, from all the years of being interested in those types of subjects. Oh man, I would love to see what would happen in real life if you did have two black holes in a binary orbit of each other, where you had like a solar system in the middle. I would love to see what the true interaction would be between, you know, that solar system, of how it would slowly get spaghettified out. That would be quite the oh, what was that? What's that thing that kids have? That's spirograph? Is that what it was called? It makes all those really cool patterns and stuff by using gears and pens. I think it's called a spirograph. But that would look really cool to see what would happen to that universe, or that solar system or planetary system that was in there. That would look so cool. Spirograph? Okay, cool. Have you guys seen what these new light brights are? Oh my god. When Caveman was a little kid, I was going to buy him a light bright, and then I saw what the light bright was, and I was like, what today's light bright is compared to the ones that I had in the 70s? It's like, nope. I will look around and see if I can find one at a garage sale. And I never was able to. So he never got the opportunity to see light brights. But I remember as a kid, like I had gotten one as a small kid. My brother got one when he was a small kid, you know, that type of stuff. And they were a lot of fun. I mean, you had like the clown, you had the spaceships, you had all those types of things on there. My goodness. Talk about a spirograph, and now I'm going down kid toy row here. Yeah. Now, my biggest thing is I'd like to know what's going on when it comes down to NASA. They're saying that they've lost all the technology to get themselves through the Van Allen belt. Well, do you really deserve the billions and billions of dollars of tax dollars that you've received over all these many years? I think it's time for NASA to either A, shut their doors, or B, start running things like a proper business. Now, you know, I won't say that, you know, Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos has got the answer, but this pay to fail crap that NASA's got, like, oh, you know, we can't do anything, you know, like it's going to cost us $10 billion to do this, and this. And meanwhile, these private companies haven't even put in like $2 billion with and got 10 times better tech. I think it's time that NASA becomes absolutely, oh, what's the word that I'm looking for? Oh, words are hard. Accountable for everything now at this point in time. If they have supposedly the best brains in the business and they haven't been able to come up with reusable rockets for 10 times the cost of what these other companies are doing, it's time that they lose all funding. Yeah. Sorry, at this point in time, whatever companies that are out there that are doing much, much better, they should have the rights to be able to basically just take over NASA, just swallow it up. Say goodbye, NASA. You government-run, opportunistic a-holes. Gotta go. Bye-bye. It is just disgusting. In my opinion. In my opinion. You collided two dust clouds. They didn't make a new one. No, exactly. It didn't make a new planet. Well, okay. Technically, it's a new planet made up from parts of an old original Big Bang. You know what I mean? Everything, all matter in the world can neither be created nor destroyed, right? So everything that was there is just energy and particles left from the original Big Bang. So you can't say you created a new planet. You've got a new structure of a planet, but the planet really, isn't new. Just if you want to get on that technical side, as my ex-wife would say, oh, now you're just playing with semantics. But yes, technically it wouldn't be a new planet. We only got one place that we can live on at this point in time. Like, okay. The one problem that I have is that when I hear teacher or a scientist, a professional, turn and say that, oh, we're looking for Earth planets so that we can colonize them. It's like, you do realize that if we did find such a thing that had oxygen and nitrogen and all the other good stuff that us humans need to live, there has to be life on that. Life creates oxygen. So you're telling me that you're going to basically want to conquer another planet, like another life form planet. Now, sentient life or not, it's still life. Well, we screw up enough on this planet as it is, so you just want to leave this one in the dust and screw up another planet. Good job, good on you. That's what you're telling me every time I hear a teacher or a professor say that, and I just giggle. I got called out at it once at the community college that I went to, and which is now a university. Go figure. Yeah, they changed the community college into a university here. They're idiots. But anyway, so. Yeah, I just remember I was giggling in class, and I had a professor who was like, "Oh yeah, you think you know better?" And I just let him have it, and he just, yeah, you do know better. And he never ever called upon me for anything afterwards. Nothing. It wouldn't matter how loud I'm giggling and chuckling and all that, right? And I'm writing a note down on my pieces of paper, going, "Yeah, this guy's an idiot." He's just reading from a textbook, and he didn't learn from that textbook. He's just garbage in, garbage out. This is what the textbook says, and he's not, textbooks can be wrong. And so you have to teach the students how to see errors. But he couldn't. He just didn't have a brain of his own to be able to do it. And he knew that I was smarter than him. Or should I say, more educated than he was. I'll never say I'm smarter than anybody. I'll just say that, I put my time into educating myself with proper resources. He would never call upon me for anything afterwards. He'd just give me that look of like, oh, something's up, isn't it? And then he would just, carry on type of thing. And, after class or whatever, I'd go over and talk to a couple of the other, astute students and be like, this is wrong, guys. You know that, right? If we do this on our final exams, we're going to be, getting a wrong answer. And, oh yeah, you're right. Like once I start going through, like, here's the big one. This is something that I've known since I was in like grade 2 or 3 when we first learned about what gravity was. And then I heard a NASA official on a news thing basically saying that, they're trying to come up with different methods for anti-gravity. And I'm going, are you freaking kidding me? No, you don't want anti-gravity. You want levitation. Anti-gravity means that you're canceling out the mass of the Earth, so everything, including the Earth itself, will go whee! out through space-time. Like, it just, like, no, we don't want anti-gravity. What we want is levitation. Like, no. Like something else, like Star Trek when they have teleporters. No, you'll never. I'm with Bones on that one. I'm never going to be teleported. You're destroying the original to make a copy. Not happening. I would much prefer matter translocation. Thank you very much. Also known as like portals, you know, like wormholes, those type of things. No, don't give me anti-gravity. I like this planet. It's the only place we can live on at this time. No, thank you. And then you'd have a teacher who would just be, don't be a smart ass. It's like, I'm not being a smart ass. I'm just being smart. You're being the ass. And then it's like, go to the principal's office. Like, why? Because you called me an ass. Because you are. You are being a complete and total bitch at this point. Down to the office right now. All right. Yes, colloquially, anti-gravity is levitation. Yes, colloquially, but not legitimately. And when I hear a scientific professional say that, you know, like they're working, you know, everybody, you know, they're working on towards, you know, anti-gravity. It's like, don't teach. Just say it how it should be, please. Because you're going to get somebody out there who's like Einstein, super smart, figure something out for true anti-gravity without really realizing the complications behind that, and, and we could get screwed. You know, when it comes to things like that, specifics mean a lot. No, I don't want to see that happening at all, ever. I remember we had a question on one of our tests was like, what would happen if the Earth suddenly stopped? And I'm like going, well, people at the equator would be like whipped around at like 1,100 kilometers an hour. And I went through it all, and I was given a 0 for the question because that was not the answer the teachers were looking for. And yet it was the true, legitimate answer of what truly would happen. Because the winds are still going to keep moving. You're going to have the water still keep moving because the Earth is rotating at the equator at 1,100 kilometers an hour. If it were to suddenly stop, nothing else is going to stop. Your wind is going to keep moving. Your water is going to keep moving. But I got a 0 on that. So off to the principal's office I go. And what did the principal tell me? You overthought it. And it's like, no, I gave you the legit reason. And nope, the principal would not go to bat for me over that at all because it wasn't what they were looking for the answer. And I was like, this is crap. I cannot think of it in any other way than in true physics. So if this is the way school is going to be taught, then I guess, I'm just going to have to make sure that you're voted out eventually. But they never do. No matter how hard you try, they never do. You never get voted out. Canada's got a thing here that the head of the Board of Education has to be a woman. She doesn't even have to be qualified at all. There are receptionists who have been turned into principals. And then you ask them, what are you going to put in for the budget for this, this, and this? And they don't even know how to budget. Like, they don't know how to balance a budget. They have no idea how to balance a budget. And yet, they've been put in charge because they're a woman. I have nothing with a woman being put into that position if she's qualified. It doesn't matter if you're a man, as long as you're qualified. It shouldn't have to do with your gender. It should all be about your qualifications. But that's not how the woke government does it. And it drives me bonkers. That's enough of all the problems with the world that we have today, because I can keep going. Oh man, I can keep going all day long on what the problems are. Offering solutions? I can offer several solutions. It might not fix the problem 100%, but it's definitely better than what we have today. That's for damn sure. This equality crap. No, I'm sorry. I've watched professional women's soccer teams get their asses kicked by 15-year-old non-professional, like, what do they call those extracurricular things that you do at school? Like, I mean, no offense, there comes a point when, you know, physical differences make all the difference. You know what I mean? It's like, oh. Yeah. I can have people come after me all they want in my discords and all that. Yeah, so like, we just blank you out. That's all it is. You know, like, I have no problems with equality. Pay equality, as long as there's the qualifications. Yeah. I don't hear guys complaining about all these supermodels getting paid 50 to 60 times more than professional male models. You don't hear the guys complaining about that. But the women's soccer team wants as much as the male soccer teams get. And it's like, are you kidding me? How much do you bring in ticket sales? Oh, you don't even bring in 10% over the year for the ticket sales than the men's game does, but you want to make the exact same amount? See ya. You're not on the team anymore. You didn't think this through. You're stupid. You're just trying to use woke culture to get your way to get more paid for obviously having a clear discrepancy between the performance. You ain't going to get it, as far as I'm concerned. And I'll be damned if my tax dollars get pitched in to try to help you with it. But no. Do better. Bring in the ticket sales that the other games bring in, and then we can talk. But you don't. Because it's boring to watch your ass. It's absolutely. I mean, no offense. Please, no offense. But, you know, some of these women's national games that I've watched, I have seen better out of high school students. You know, like, ladies included, like ladies volleyball. I've watched a lot of ladies volleyball because, well, my ex was, you know, into that type of stuff. And women's basketball that play, you know, like I said, I've seen high school kids play better than what these professionals teams do. And it's like, you want to get paid the same? Then you have to bring in the same amount of money in order for that to happen. You have to be that profitable. And then you say that and it's like, oh, you're a jerk, you know, you're against feminism or whatever the hell. You know, semantic argument that they want to bring in that's got nothing to do with the problem at hand. It's like, oh, just go away. I have no time for your stupidity. Yeah, you betcha, Alex. No worries, my man. But yeah, enough of the crap of the world the way it is today. We gotta live in it. We gotta deal with it. And the only ones that can fix it is us, and you know, which means make your votes count, folks. Make your votes count. That's the only way in the world that we have today, other than screaming for woke culture to, you know, make things better. It's only going to get worse if we allow this woke cultures to win. There are times, yes, there are absolute times. I totally agree with that. That, you know, equality isn't there, but you know, at the same time, there's a lot of instances where it isn't, where it shouldn't be used. Just saying. They didn't want it until they found out that the U.S. women's soccer team made more than the men's. Is that what I can't remember what it was. No, I thought it was the other way around. I thought that they were screaming for pay equality, and that's what ended up getting. Like there was like an Australian women team or something like that. That was like, you know, that basically they were told, hey, look, you know, these 15-year-old kids over here, they could kick your ass. You know what I mean? Tell you what, if you can beat these 15-year-old kids, we'll bring you up. We'll bring up the discussion for pay grades. And they got trounced, like 16-0, something like that in the game. Like it was just, and it wasn't like a professional team of kids or anything, you know? Like it was just kids, and still got their asses whooped. It's like, yeah, you got to bring it to the table. If you want that type of money, you got to bring the ticket sales to the table. I'm sorry. It's a business, and you got to run it. So either the coaches got to hire or bring on, you know, a lot better quality, you know, of athletes in that division, or STFU. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, oh, the things that sometimes make my brain just boil. Like, what? No. No. Oh, dang it. I was hoping everything was going to pop here, but I guess not. Okay. Oh, here, we'll do this. I can't remember what it was. Like I said, I don't really put too much of my research into stuff like that, especially when I'm delving into a subject. I try to maintain just on that one subject. And like I said, for like the last, geez, well, no, even before the divorce, I started getting really into this climate stuff because I did it when I was in high school, when they were screaming about climate. Back then it was climate warming, you know, this type of stuff, right? And we proved that, well, no, the upper atmosphere, like, you know, basically 100 meters above our head isn't warming. It's just our, you know, it's just the part of the stratosphere that we live on, you know, part of the earth that we live on that's getting a little bit warmer due to CO2. But, and I had said this way back when, like, you know, greenhouses use carbon dioxide to help increase plant growth. You know, a plant needs CO2. It then uses the sun's energy to break it down into sugars and releases O2. The more CO2 in the atmosphere means that the less amount of water a plant needs to use for vapor density. I can't remember. It's VPD. I know that's the acronym for it, but like vapor pressure density, I believe it is. Right? And so a plant uses less water. Every year we get more and more bumper crops because we have more and more carbon dioxide up in the atmosphere. Just saying. But no. Instead, they're all worried about it. And it's like, I honestly, for my opinion, I don't think CO2 should be looked at as a pollutant. What comes out of the tailpipe of our vehicles and all that, all the additional hydrocarbons and that, yeah, that I'm on board. That's a pollutant. That shit gets us acid rain. Like, yeah, that needs to be addressed. Most definitely. I'm with you on that. Let's go. But when it comes to CO2, I think it's time that we had a conversation about that. You know, you'll never notice that any professional companies that deal with CO2 and all that, they keep saying all the time, come on, bring out your best climate scientists. Let's debate this. Let's debate this in a public forum. There is not a single climate scientist that is on the political agenda that's been speaking out about all of it that will ever debate you. Instead, what they'll do is they'll hire professional debunkers who use semantics for their arguments instead of using true math. Like, and it's like, yeah, it's the world that we live in today. Why did these not break down? What's going on here? We should all be hitting the floor. There we go. Oh. Dude, not good. Okay. Do you have a newer computer? You gotta make sure that anytime you put a computer together, you press the sockets in all the way. I have seen and heard of, I've heard from at least two different large streamers that had their 4090s meltdown because they didn't push their connector socket all the way in. It is a known issue with the 4090s. If you ever buy a computer, open it up, make sure that you press all the connections in tight. Just because they can come loose in transport or they weren't properly installed. I'm not going to say it's all the technician who built its fault. It could easily be through transport that some of these sockets come loose, but there's been so many meltdowns of the 4090s, and NVIDIA is leaving those people out to dry. So definitely, you gotta push it in. Oh, I had somebody ask me the other day, or say the other day, that RAM doesn't have thermal paste. It's like, pardon? Yeah, RAM's got thermal paste. It's got to. It's got electricity flowing through it at a high rate, creating heat. There is thermal paste in RAM, guys and gals. There is, definitely. Yeah. But I've heard so many times, like, well, you know, check your thermal paste. Did you change up the thermal paste on your RAM in the last 5 years? I have. I know that there's thermal paste in my RAM because I've replaced it before. Hey, Malachi, how you doing, my man? How are you today? Good to see you back. Glad to see that you got yourself the the membership there. Once again, folks, if you are watching this later, or if you're in the chat right now and you haven't, click that $sign and click on Receive Gift Memberships. We have, this last month, we had over 30 gifted memberships giving us an increased bonus on the amount of emojis that we can have. So if you take a look, we have 2 new ones coming soon, and Existential Dread. All care and of the amazing members of the community. So if you ain't got it triggered, if you ain't got it open to receive those gift memberships, folks, you ain't going to get one. But yeah, no, definitely enjoy all the perks that come with. Use them. Use those perks. I put them up there for a reason, and I stand by them all. For those amazing and awesome diamond members, I've had upwards of 2 in the past. And I've had one person of those 2 reach out to me and use the benefits of it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was available, so I went through and, get them all helped out and got their streams up and running. And unfortunately, once again, they didn't become number 1 in within 90 days. And they're like, yeah, well, it's not for me. It's like, okay, well, that's cool. I did my part. I fulfilled my part of the bargain on that. I hope they got their dollars value out of it. And he's like, oh yeah, definitely, man. You mentioned so many different things to me that I just didn't think of before. It's like, well, that's awesome. I'm glad that I was able to provide that service. Well, thank you. Thank you for becoming a member to the channel. It helps out so very much, extremely amounts. But yeah, Alex, if you got smoke coming off your RAM, I'm going to say that you need to, if you don't have the know-how or the confidence, take it to somebody that does. And if your RAM hasn't completely shot itself out, it's still salvageable. They can throw some new thermal paste in there and you'll be good. But yeah, know your computer, stay within its limits. I mean, I wouldn't have had this computer for 10 years if I tried to overclock it majorly or anything. I'll never overclock a PC. I will use the BIOS boost, but I will never overclock a PC. Even though I have the CPU and GPU all-in-one coolers, I'll never do it. I run my computer hot enough as it is by streaming, playing video games and that all the time, that I need to have those parts. I need the CPU coolers and the GPU coolers, because my computer is on for so long. Most people just have their computer on for an average of 16 hours a week. But my computer is on for 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The only time it ever gets turned off is if we have power outage or if I'm taking it in to service it. So if my brother can't do the servicing on it because he's not here, I'll take it into and get it professionally done. Unfortunately, I have that little issue with the twitching, and so trying to put parts together and things like that, I am more than likely going to cause damage before it goes into place. Trying to be very gentle to push, say a RAM into a RAM slot. My arm will twitch, and I can easily break those cards or the motherboard trying to put it in. So it's like, won't do that. Big cheese! Yeah, Big Cheese. Yeah, we were just talking about that you're about 45 minutes late on that. I was complaining about how the standard of mesh collisions, putting collisions onto the models of the meshing, is not very strong from some of those European countries. It's something that really definitely needs to be worked on. But at the end of the day, 95% of these games are through Playway. And Playway basically is just a giant school. And then once, the students are done their school, quote unquote, they've given them the basics of development through the Unity engine. They go and start their own companies with the additional help of Playway. So that's why you'll see things like Games Incubator SA, FreeMind SA. They're all just divisions of Playway. No, and that's the thing. It's a different world over in Europe than it is here. So definitely there is a difference in the quality of schooling, but in the long run, between all the people that have been taught by Playway and that, they talk to each other. They have their own chat rooms and things like that. They don't tell you this, but things that I've noticed is that I hear the exact same thing from one developer within 2 days that I heard it from another. So I know that they're sitting there talking to each other, working with each other, trying to fix up their games to get it to the point where they don't have bad reviews so that they can make a little bit of money. I have no issues with that. Absolutely none. What I have an issue with is that they keep teaching poorly. Come on. You know there's an issue here. You know, it's time to, you know, pull up to the big boy pants and start teaching a little better as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? But in the long run, though, the game works. There are a lot of issues when it does come down to models and mesh collision, but that just happens to be the way of the world, as well as Unity is not the greatest for that. You got to be really meticulous when it comes down to Unity to not have as many of those issues. So, just saying, you know, like, it is the way it is, but unfortunately, how to fix it is through education, and that's not something that Playway seems to want to invest in. You know, they just want to get you the basics, get you going, get their cut of the meat, and, you know, move on to the next, unfortunately. And I do feel for those developers who are really trying, because they've been given all the confidence in the world, like, oh yeah, we can do this, you know, we got educated, you know, the company Playway got us to this point, you know, we're good, we're golden. And no, they basically, you know, the form of curriculum that they have just isn't up to par for what is needed for the Unity engine, unfortunately. But yeah. Oh yeah, and no, and that's the thing. There are people out there who enjoy that, like myself. I wouldn't call it cathartic. I'd call it just kick back, relaxing, unwinding, and, you know, deadheading it. You know what I mean? Just, you know, not needing to really have to think to be able to have fun. Yeah. And it's easier for, you know, some of us who have cognitive issues to play these types of games and not feel frustrated. So there's a place for everything, though, man. Just gotta think about it. You know what I mean? Just gotta think about, like, well, you know, I would like to see this, and this in there. Well, reach out to the developers and see if they're capable. Might be, you know, might be the golden ticket for them. You never know. But no, for myself, I mean, look at that. I got $100,000 already. Take a look. Like, I mean, $97,996. I played a lot of this game. I played a lot of it. I enjoy it. I put up with all the errors and everything else in there. I'm very tolerant when it comes to those types of things. Now, you would have talked to me, oh, guys, in chat, what would have happened about, 2 years ago if I would have played a game like this that's got all these little quirks? I would have been ripping it apart. Yeah, Big Cheese. I got two videos. I got Cars for Sale 2023, and I think it was Route 66. You want to know what I was like about 2 years ago? Take a look at the demos that I did. I got a section in my homepage that called Teardowns Demos Playthroughs, something like that. I used to just rip them all apart. But now that I'm a little bit older, and I've been able to speak with, you know, bigwigs at Playway, I've been able to speak with, you know, multiple different types of developers. I've now seen both sides of the coin, and I understand where they come through, and I'm a little bit more tolerant of, you know, a lot of the things that could, what I would think is easily fixed. I can understand why they haven't been. On the developer side. Now, when it comes to, like, on the Playway side for the business aspect of things, you know, you got to change your curriculum up once in a while. You know what I mean? You got to invest into it. You can't just keep the same thing over 10 years just because the game engine has been the same over the last 10 years. You know, if you're having the same issues with that game engine over and over and over again, well, maybe you should teach how to work around those issues. But with Unity probably going the way of the wind, I just can't see them as a business investing much more money into it at this time. I'm thinking Playway is probably either going to have to shut their doors pretty soon, or they're going to have to switch over to how to train for Unreal Engine. Fingers crossed, that's what they do. But then again, you're also talking to somebody who also worked with Electronic Arts from the mid 90s to the early 2000s. So I was a program manager. I was the one who kept different gaming teams on track, making sure that they met all their time. Oh, it was a bird that I saw. I'm like, why is there a piece of metal flying off of that? No, it was a bird. Okay, never mind. Ooh. But yeah, within their time constraints, right? So that's what I did for many years. Wasn't enough money in it, so I went and worked in the oil field. Honestly, that's what I did. There was not enough money in it. So I was like, screw this! I'm gonna go work in the oil field. Then the oil field crashed. Just shortly after I got sick, I ended up having, got a lot of heart problems. Got a lot of medical problems. No launching it. You know, and that's the, you know, like for us here, our work ethic basically says that, you know, you can't do that for business. You get a bad name on your business if you do things along those lines, you know, stuff like that. They don't have that over in Europe. It's a totally different mentality when it comes down to it. But ladies and gentlemen, let's, didn't recycle. Got to recycle. Okay. Now that's something else too here, guys and gals. I cannot mess with the sounds that come from inside this recycling area here. So you're going to hear a whole bunch of chingy-chingy-chings a lot louder than they need to be. I do apologize. I just do not have any control over it. Like Big Cheese is saying, yeah, there are a bunch of things in this game that need work. One second here. I'll catch up the chat as soon as I'm done with this portion of it. See how fast we can speed through it without messing up the combos. I'll probably mess up the combo. Don't care. No, other way, other way. Oh, made it. Woo! Woo! Got lucky on that one. I thought I saw blue. It was yellow. My brain saw blue and then went to blue and was like, no, the banding is yellow. Whoops. Made it. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, this part drives me nuts. I can only imagine you guys at home right now having to deal with all this. I wish I could just turn the sound off completely in the recycle area. No, 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 no. Son of a bitch. Moved it too fast. My speed up didn't speed up fast enough. Oh, like I said, don't care. This portion of the game, I wish we had the ability to skip. Because after you do it about 3 or 4 times, you really don't give a crap about it. The amount of money you get off of it versus the annoyance of it, I could say that this was a fail. This portion of it was a fail. Especially since you can't turn off the music of it, and you cannot turn down the dings. No matter what you do, you have to change the master volume on your PC just to get rid of all these dang dings. And it's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go in there and take my time to go through and change all this bloody sounds down. It should be in game. When I have things set to a certain level, that's where they should be on my equalizer. And nothing should ever peak beyond that. But it does. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of fun. Oh, you're French. Oh, bonjour, bonjour, monsieur. I'm gonna have to give me a minute because it takes me. I gotta really concentrate to read French. Really gotta concentrate to read French. Just saying. I can read English and understand English real fast, but French is not my first language. Actually, I never even took French in school. My dad had a political view on that, and so basically, oh, I don't want to sort again. I'm just going to finish. No, leave. Hell with the 50% of the items. Screw that crap. But anyway, yeah, my dad had a real issue with, you know, his kids having to learn French in school, so yeah, basically I was exempt from having to go to French class, but I ended up learning it anyway just from being around a lot of French people. My uncle is French. Well, before he passed, but one of my uncles married my mom's sister, so he was French. Uncle Jacques, he was an amazing man. There we go, folks. We did it. There we go. Well, Wall Street Whale. Keep a total of 100,000 in your account. Yay! We did it! Woo woo woo! More patches that come along, more it seems to be introduced. Yay! That happens though, man. That happens. That does happen. Okay, so let me see if I can read this French here. Give me a second here. Okay. So, not for you. You upgraded your tools to level 5. And when you got to the boat, everything took longer to undo. But you were still at the beginning, so you closed the game. Right? Did I do all right on that? And you say ship because the ships, they're small parts of ships that magically appear on the beach. In the first game, you watch the actual ships you'd be working on come in. Yeah, you know, like, but it is what it is. You know, the game is made for the way that it was made to be this way. Uh-oh. I can't tell if that's Chinese, Japanese. I mean, that could be ancient hieroglyphics as far as I'm concerned. I can't read that one. But yeah, how did I do for the French? I'm pretty sure I read it correctly. I'm pretty sure I read it pretty good. Not being French, I'd say I did all right. All right, let's do the save of the game. But yeah, that was the Mariner, folks. Let's go and see what we got here. Are we on level 3 yet? Let's see. After here, let's go contracts. You're all claimed. Yes, let's go scrap. I did good. Awesome. Excellent. Excellent. Good to know. I haven't really attempted to read French in about 10 years, so that's not bad. So the next one's going to be Tuna Colada. Let's just see what we can get for money out of the contracts on that. So the biggest one's 800, another 400 for mid, so that's $1,200. So it looks like we can make $1,520 off of this ship, minus the 400, so we're making $1,100 profits. So still to this day, the biggest amount of profit that you can make is off of this guy here. This guy, he got 4,000. 2,000, so that's 6,000. 7,600 minus 2, that's $5,600. So this is your bread and butter out of all the ships right here, the Armano, Argrani. However, the first time you play, it'll probably take you about 9 hours. At the end of the day, when you get good at it and you know which sections to take out quickly, use a lot of explosives, you can get it down to about 6 hours by the time that you first drop it down to the time that you're leaving the recycling. So, but yes. But I think that's it, folks. I think that's what we're going to end off with today. It was a fun 2 hours that we've gone through. So thank you so much for being here. As always, let me just get that light turned on here a second. I got to reach for this light, guys. You nuts. Okay, now what do I do with my shade? There we go. There we go. The beauty of the game has been wrecked by the beauty of my face, but no. But as always, thank you so much for being here, folks. I do appreciate every single last one of you for being here, keeping me going, keeping the chats going. You guys are all awesome and amazing. As always, I hope you have yourselves a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, good night. Thank you for taking the time to keep your back, relax, unwind with me. Good conversations. A little bit of a grievance fest there about, you know, the way the world is today, but meh. We gotta have one of those once in a while. We gotta get that off our chests. Otherwise, you bottle it up for too long, you just have an explosion, which we all don't need. As always, a huge shout out to the heroes of the channel. Thank you so very much, every single last one of you. Without your help and support, I wouldn't be able to do what I do because the government would say, no, you're not allowed to do this anymore. So all these folks, they are definite true heroes. Once again, if you haven't already, make sure that you do click on the $ and allow yourself to receive gifted memberships, as they do come through every once in a while, which has gotten us to where we are today. Without these folks, I'd be no better off than out in the streets. So thank you one and all. I do appreciate y'all being here. Once again, streams up in the air for tomorrow as my dad is coming by. We do have the Thanksgiving long weekends, so I'm going to say there's a 90% chance that the next live stream will be on Tuesday next week, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you once again, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out, y'all.